Welcome back to Dave and Audrey Does Outdoors. Ball burster. Okay, she's right here. Right, we're just up for a wee hot tent. It's getting dark soon, so we need to find a pitch and get some firewood, the usual malarkey. So having a beef stew tonight. Shouldn't be overly cold. I don't know if we're going to pitch in the woods or probably going to go out into the open a wee bit, hoping to get a wee bit of a view in the morning. So thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate everyone's support recently. Been through a bit of a hard time, but yeah, stay tuned. We've got a nice and chilled night ahead. Hopefully a little bit of try and make another spoon with the carving, beef stew, hot tent. So without further ado, we're going to find a spot, get the tent up, start gathering some firewood. So it's all go for the first kind of couple hours, and then we can chillax. So thanks again for tuning in. A quick look around. I've got to clear some of the longer grass, but the stove took a bit longer than normal there. Bit of a kind of footer. Sometimes it seems to go together really easy, but some view. Now there isn't much firewood up here, this is the problem. So there's a little pile here, but I'm going to need to go into the woods and do a bit of foraging. I'll take Audrey. It'll soon be dark, soon get the lights on, but pretty flat little bit there that we'll get. We've stayed up here in the scarp, so you've got a spectacular view right around. Hopefully we'll get a wee bit of a view in the morning. I'm not sure if it's going to be cloudy. It shouldn't be too windy tonight. We're fairly exposed, but plenty of guys. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 or 6 guy lines on the one Tigris smoky hot tent. I've got an inner, so I might end up trying to put up a bit of an inner tonight. I'm not sure. So right, onto the firewood. I want to get the fire going because we're having a bit of a slow cook tonight of some beef. So I want to kind of get that on. It's soon going to be dark, but she's in her bed already. I've got the new Haltifors hatchet, which is going to be really handy. Get some wood, and I've also got a bigger saw. I brought an old one of my bigger saws that you'll see. Right, crack on. I've just rustled up a little bit of thick cardboard. I'm going to make a proper little wooden plywood sort of shield, but so this is a bit more kind of robust to get some thicker bits so I can get some splitting, some logs. A leek, potato, carrots, sweet potato, bit of turnip, just all kind of sort of stuff that I had in the fridge. But the fire's been a total dick pain. The end results like the stock cube into that water and then just let it all cook for stewy kind of. I'm just going to pick out the beef and the potatoes, sweet potato, onion. I've opened the door, get the fire kicking out a bit, let the steam out, and sit and have my tea. I'll do that. I'll make a wee sort of, with my coffee I'm just going to, and again, knife safety. I was watching a guy on YouTube and I think he managed to stick his knife into his leg. So always away from you. Never, you know, unless you're sort of like doing. And I've also got my kind of thick leather gloves on. The thought of having an accident up here is just like, nah, crazy. I'm looking forward to putting this knot on. Look at all this kind of resin and these can be quite a lot of the fat wood. It's nice doing it by eye. I'm dedicating this spoon to my dear old friend Mike, who's across in the States. He gave me a really nice call just to check in after my dad passed away, and he showed me a spoon that one of his kids had carved at school, and it was like it could be getting sold in IKEA or something. So this one's dedicated to Mike and your family. It's still a wee bit rough, but second spoon, and I'm seeing through that. I'm seeing the light actually through this. That's nice and thin. Bit of sandpaper, something just to kind of. But pleased with that. Right, it's getting late. The fire's been up and down tonight. It's not been the most successful. This coat's great. It's got a big sort of big pouch, kind of kangaroo pouch. I'm going to set up my bed and just have a little look at the fire and stuff like that. Get cozied up, brush my teeth. Nice night. I've not been quite as chilled tonight. The fire's been up and down. The dinner was nice, but again, first go, the kind of beef, kind of hot potty. I was going to do a beef bourguignon, but I don't drink wine, so that was that out the window. But yeah, so it's been a nice night all the same. It's been really hot and then really cool with the fire, so I'm looking forward to getting to my sleeping bag and get her cozied up and stuff as well. So I'm going to get that sorted. A little midgey net, because I saw a couple of kind of sort of beetles and stuff crawling about, so this way I can zip this up and we're nice and sort of cozy. I'm going to put a little pair of socks on because my feet were cold, but the fire's kicking out a bit of heat just now, which is nice. You can see some of the steam coming off this wood. It's like it's been hardcore with the kind of soaking. A little bit. I might put the fire on in the morning, I don't know. You still see a little steaming away. Right, we're not quite saying goodnight yet. We'll climb in and say goodnight. It's quite late. Don't know what time it is. Probably about 10:30. Something like that. For me, that's a crazy late night. But that's nice. The door's closed. The fire's kicking out a decent bit of heat. We're going to get cozied up. It's nice just to get the fire really roaring before you go to bed, so you kind of warm up a little bit. I'll let the sleeping bag kind of air out a little bit as well. It'll be warming up a bit. Put a couple of other bits of wood on, just chill to the fire. Up in the morning, coffee, nothing major tomorrow. A little bit of breakfast and then off to bed. So I'll probably just sign out there actually. I'm just going to climb into my rucksack, so catch you in the morning. Night night. Morning folks. It's still dark. I'm not sure what time it is. Not a bad sleep. I'm going to put the stove on, just maybe make my coffee, warm the tent up a little bit before I get up. This wee inner thing, it looks quite like in my face, but it's actually worked out pretty well. It's quite light and I didn't really notice it. And there was a couple of kind of beetles and spiders and such, so it's actually felt nice to kind of be a bit more cocooned. So she had my couple of coats over her last night. As normal, she probably gets a better sleep than me. So I'm going to pop the fire on, get a coffee. Not a bad sleep last night. multi-furs hatchet did really well last night. Really well. Decent little bit of weight to it, 800 grams. You've got a proper little chop on it, but it's not excessive. Yeah, a nice blade on it. My little paracord things holding up as well, and a couple of layers of linseed oil, because I actually left it out last night. Forgot to bring it in, but it wasn't wet, but worth just treating the, this is hickory. Great wee axe. You have to be really careful, even just getting used to kind of a sharper, you know, just be really careful. Same with the knives and the carving. And worth having an old tennis ball or something just for your feet in these little chairs. And I had thought you could actually probably cut the bottom legs down to make that seat a lot lower. So for £30 you can actually modify it to make it a bit smaller, because I think it's Helinox that make them. They're a bit like mental money, £100, but they're nice and low, so for tent use you didn't have massive space. So you can modify something a bit cheaper, because it's just really thin aluminium piping, so you can easily saw it open. This was a new bit of kit. It's a non-slip. Oh, she's finally getting up. A little non-slip mat that you can get. Not very expensive. Really lightweight and really sticky. It's for kind of lining drawers and stuff like that. Non-stick, Amazon. But I think it definitely helped to stop the mat sliding, particularly on surfaces like that. The tin foil